like to call this meeting to order. Madam Treasurer, would you please call the roll?
Mr. Elick?
Here.
Excuse me. Ms. Karstafen?
Here.
Mr. Bax?
Here.
Mr. Brubaker?
Here.
And Mr. Gebhardt?
Here.
Would everybody please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, and welcome to the November 20th, 2019 Elyria School Board meeting. I'd like to introduce our group up here. To my right is Board Member Kevin Brubaker. To his right is Board Member Jim Bax. I am Greg Elick. To my left is our Board Member and Vice President Annie Karstafen. To her left is Board Member Mike Gebhardt. To his left is our Superintendent Ann Slosh. And to her left is our Treasurer Joy Clickinger. Award-winning Treasurer Joy Clickinger. Okay. We have a special presentation tonight by our Director of Pupil Services. Denise, would you please come up here?
Well, good evening, everybody. We're very excited for this presentation tonight and honored that we have such a wonderful family that supports the efforts that we do with our students with special needs. And so first, I'd like to bring up my Special Olympic coordinators right there, you guys are. Andrea Orr and Andy Menner. And then one of our committee members, Samantha Bonetta, and her brother, Dominic Cruz. Samantha's been on our Special Olympics committee since I've started here. So, and well, we started the same year, didn't we? Yes, we did. So 2013, 14? Yep. 14. And they have a donation they'd like to present. So Andrea, if you'd like to.
Sam has been an integral part of our committee since she's joined, and her family and her father's connections and participation with the community has been vital to the funding, fundraisers, and donations to the Special Olympics Committee, which is completely funded. The whole program is by donations and fundraisers. And being part of the committee, we were well aware when her father had passed, and they have done fundraisers each year since, and the family has chosen a different charity to donate to every year. And this year we were honored with them choosing Elyria Special Olympics.
This was something very important to our family and I, to continue our dad's memory and want to present the Elyria City Schools Special Olympics with a $7,000 donation to you guys on behalf of my dad's memory.
Sorry.
Go ahead. No.
This may be inappropriate, but I wanted to let you know that there's been a couple of years that we've had UAW Ford sponsor our program and our May event, and they weren't able to give us as much money as your family has, so this is absolutely amazing. And this is our 40th anniversary for our Lorain County Track and Field event coming up May 8th, and on our program cover, we will honor Frank Cruz and the Cruz and Bonetta families for sponsoring our 40th annual May event.
And then we have a little plaque of appreciation for you and an apple of the eye. Not only is she a contributing member to our Special Olympics, she's an intervention specialist at Franklin Elementary. So she works with some of our neediest kids too across the district. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you much. Thank you so much. Very thoughtful. Thank you very much. Good luck. Thanks. Oh, that's outstanding. Thank you, Denise, and thank you to the family. What an outstanding gesture, and what a wonderful family. Dad is definitely smiling as he's shining down on all of us right here, so thank you very much. Okay, moving along on the agenda. Visitor comments, we did not have anybody sign up for the 5 minutes or the 15 minutes, so there will be no visitors. Board member discussion items, I don't think we have any discussion items. The board did attend the OSBA conference, and I would ask the board for the next meeting, if you have anything you'd like to share with the group at the next meeting, please bring that with you.
Okay.
Moving along, the minutes from the November 6, 2019 meeting have been posted. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
I have a motion by Board Member Brubaker. Do I have a second?
Second.
A second by Board Member Gebhardt. Any questions or comments? With none, Madam Treasurer, would you please call the roll?
Mr. Brubaker?
Aye.
Mr. Gebhardt?
Aye.
Mr. Bax?
Yes.
Ms. Karstafen?
Aye.
And Mr. Elick?
Aye. Motion carries. Okay, Treasurer action items. Madam Treasurer.
Thank you, Mr. President. I only have a couple items this evening. I have the financial report for the month of October 2019, and then I have donations. We have some very lofty donations. Tonight we have a donation from the American Legion Post for 105 new winter coats valued at $3,000. From Kenneth and Janet Father, a donation of $100 to help purchase clothing for students in need. Mrs. Erin Farlocker, a donation of boys' clothing valued at $150. Elyria Charities, $1,000 to the high school bowling club. And Coats of Kids, 384 coats valued at $7,680. And those are my items this evening.
Great, thank you. Do I have a motion to approve the Treasurer action items?
So moved.
I have a motion by Board Member Karstoffen. Do I have a second?
Second.
And a second by Board Member Bax. Any questions or comments?
Yes.
Mr.
What
Gebhardt?
happened to the bowling team that were rebuilding it?
I really don't know. Does anybody know that?
I wasn't
bowling
aware it was
team?
rebuilding.
They
They,
don't have enough girls.
oh, okay.
They have the team itself, there's only 2 girls out, so.
Gotcha.
Okay, great. Good question, Mr. Gebhardt. Any other ones? With none, Madam Treasurer, would you please call the roll?
Ms. Karstafen?
Aye.
Mr. Bax?
Yes.
Mr. Brubaker?
Aye.
Mr. Gebhardt?
Aye.
And Mr. Elick?
Aye, motion carries. Any other reports this evening, Madam Treasurer?
No, the only thing I would like to mention is if you would like reimbursement for expenses that you had at the Capitol Conference, please either call Pete or me or fill out the form and turn it in.
Okay, wonderful, thank you. Superintendent action items. Madam Superintendent.
Thank you, Mr. President. First of all, under action items, I have to authorize the addendum and the first student transportation agreement. We're including a van right now for smaller groups. Also to approve the revised administrative salary schedule, which switches the restructuring of business services in it. To approve the Mercy Health and Recreation swim lane use agreement for the swim team. And that concludes my action items.
Okay, do I have a motion to approve the superintendent action items?
So moved.
A motion by Board Member Gebhardt. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Board Member Bax. Any questions or comments?
Yeah.
Mr. Gebhardt.
The pool, we always went to Oberlin, or I thought, what was the change, or why?
It was my understanding that they could no longer use the pool when they needed to use the pool.
We started with Mercy Health
Right.
last year.
Last year.
right?
Oh, it
Yeah.
did.
So that happened then. Oberlin College was getting a little bit more stringent as the hours to be used.
So this is the pool at the Mercy Health, that's it.
It's right there at that Oak
Yeah.
Point. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, just wondered.
Any other comments or questions? With none, Madam Treasurer, would you please call the roll?
Mr. Gebhardt?
Aye.
Mr. Bax?
Yes.
Mr. Brubaker?
Aye.
Ms. Karstafen?
Aye.
And Mr. Elick?
Aye, motion carries. Madam Superintendent, personnel action items this evening.
Okay, tonight we have to approve the resignation of a certified staff member, to approve the appointment of the following certified staff, more tutors, to approve the supplemental contract of the following certified staff, to approve the athletic supplemental contracts of the following certified and classified and non-employee, some more of the winter sports. To approve the stipend of $1,000 for the You Belong grant. We were one of the few districts that had, from the Mars board over at Eastern Heights, second year we received that grant. Also to approve the payment of up to 20 hours for video production for Jim Kistler, and to approve the retirement of the following security officer, to approve the resignation of the following classified member, and to approve the unpaid leave of absence for the following classified. And that concludes my items for tonight.
Okay, do I have a motion to approve the personnel action items as recommended? I have a motion by Board Member Brubaker. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second by Board Member Christoffen. Any questions or comments? With none, Madam Treasurer, would you please call the roll?
Mr. Brubaker?
Aye.
Ms. Karstafen?
Aye.
Mr. Bax?
Yes.
Mr. Gebhardt?
Aye.
And Mr. Elick?
Aye, motion carries. A superintendent report this evening?
Just real quick, please look at our calendar online. We have a lot of wonderful concerts for the holiday season coming up, and great opportunity to see what our kids and teachers put together. Other than that, have a wonderful Thanksgiving holiday.
Great. Okay. Board of Education, we don't have any reports this evening, but we would like to go over the policies and regulations that are listed. I believe we've had our first reading, so I'll need a motion to approve the second reading and adoption of the following listed board policies and regulations.
Move to approve.
I have a motion by Board Member Bax. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Board Member Gebhardt. Any questions or comments? With none, Madam Treasurer, would you please call the roll?
Mr. Bax?
Yes.
Mr. Gebhardt?
Aye.
Mr. Brubaker?
Aye.
Ms. Karstafen?
Aye.
And Mr. Elick?
Aye. Motion carries. Okay, now, last thing on the agenda, I'd like to request an executive session for the purpose of considering the appointment, employment, dismissal, discipline, promotion, demotion, or compensation of a public employee or official with no possible action to follow as authorized under Ohio Revised Code, Section 121.22.
So moved.
Second.
No second? Any questions or comments? With none, Madam Treasurer, would you please call the roll?
Ms. Karstafen?
Aye.
Mr. Gebhardt?
Aye.
Mr. Bax?
Yes.
Mr. Brubaker?
Aye.
And Mr. Elick?
Aye, motion carries. We are into executive session, and that is with nothing to follow. Great, thank you.